Grapes of Wrath today, out of chapter 21. The moving, questioned people were migrants now. Those families which had lived on a little piece of land, who had lived and died on 40 acres, had eaten or starved on the produce of 40 acres, had now the whole West to rove in. And they scampered about looking for work, and the highways were streams of people, and the ditch banks were lines of people. Behind them more were coming. The great highways streamed with moving people. There in the middle and southwest had lived the simple agrarian folk who had not changed with industry, who had not farmed with machines or known the power and danger of machines in their private hands. They had not grown up in the paradoxes of industry. Their senses were still sharp to the ridiculousness of the industrial life. And then suddenly the machines pushed them out and they swarmed on the highways. The movement changed them. The highways, the camps along the road, the fear of hunger and hunger itself changed them. The children without dinner changed them. The endless moving changed them. They were migrants. And the hostility changed them, welded them, united them. Hostility that made the little towns group and arm as though to repel an invader. Squads with pick handles, clerks and storekeepers with shotguns, guarding the world against their own people. In the West, there was panic when the migrants multiplied on the highways. Men of property were terrified for their property. Men who had never been hungry saw the eyes of the hungry. Men who had never wanted anything very much saw the flare of want in the eyes of the migrants. And the men of the towns and of the soft suburban country gathered to defend themselves. And they reassured themselves that they were good and the invaders bad, as a man must do before he fights. They said, these goddamn Okies are dirty and ignorant. They're degenerate sexual maniacs. These goddamn Okies are thieves. They'll steal anything. They've got no sense of property rights. And the latter was true, for how can a man without property know the ache of ownership? And the defending people said, they bring disease, they're filthy. We can't have them in the schools. They're strangers. How'd you like to have your sister go out with one of them? The local people whipped themselves into a mold of cruelty. Then they formed units, squads, and armed them with clubs, with gas, with guns. We own the country. We can't let these Okies get out of hand. And the men who were armed did not own the land, but they thought they did. And the clerks who drilled at night owned nothing. And the little storekeepers possessed only a drawerful of debts. And even a debt is something, even a job is something. The clerk thought, I get $15 a week. Suppose a goddamn Okie would work for 12.